about to get spoiled. Hi, I'm Andre and I'm a black nerd, and this is the Thor the Dark World spoiler review. Spoilers! Now, this is not going to be review the entire film. I did that in my non-spoiler review, so be sure to check that out if you want to see my thoughts about the movie in general. This is just talking about those specific spoilerific things that happen in this movie and what I thought about them. So first off, let's talk about this ether, which sounded like a drug the entire time. Hey man, you got some of that ether? What? I guess you shoot it in your armpit. Oh man, that ether is so good. Natalie Portman finds the ether and she gets it in her body, and the dark elf guy, which I'm sorry. I should be afraid of you that you are just a superior being. You can't be elves. Like, we got elves that are villains? Seriously? Why don't you just be gnomes and steal my underpants? And they had those weird masks on. I'm like, are you elves or villains or the Jabberwockies? I'm just waiting for you to be like, Thor, I need you to step up to the streets for Asgard. What? But Natalie Portman finds the ether, it gets all up in her, and she's able to like just make people bounce off her really quickly if they touch her. I would have liked to have seen Natalie Portman actually get a little evil herself with it, like maybe it's sort of a mind control thing in a kind of way. She would have been like Dark Spider-Man, but without the goth haircut and the dancing. But I just think that would have been interesting. It would have given her more to her character than just being like the, oh, I'm a woman in distress because poor Thor has to save me. I need a hero. She could have been like, Thor, what up? I'm your girl, but now you gotta fight me because I got ether inside of me. What you gonna do, Thor? What you gonna do? That would have been interesting. As we saw from Saturday Night Live, Natalie is pretty badass. When I was in Harvard, I smoked weed every day. Natalie, you are a badass bitch. My is scared of you. How? Thor's mom got someone didn't sign their Disney contract. That was really sad. It was really sad and emotional that happened. Not only the death of her, but of the warriors that fought in the battle when Asgard was attacked. It was very nice for them to honor the fact that we had a bunch of crazy action time, but in the midst of it, there were people that died. Man of Steel. But then that leads me to some other emotional elements. So Loki has this whole thing of he can cloak things, magic, change forms and shapes. He was Captain America, by the way. That was the reference I was making in the non-spoiler review of the cameo. And it got to a point where it was starting to get a little annoying. I can understand using that kind of power once or twice in the movie, but they did it multiple times. And what happens is you get to a point where you're no longer feeling emotion. So when he attacked Thor and like cut his hand off, I was like, oh my gosh, wow, he needs that hand. He can't grab the hammer without his hand. Will the hand start walking around like thing and grab the hammer for him? That's not gonna happen. But then you see like, oh, it was an illusion the entire time. And I was like, okay, that's great, but now this whole emotion that I just felt for Thor getting attacked is now gone. To the point where when Loki dies, I was kind of like, well, I want to feel emotion for this, but I kind of have a feeling it's not true. I mean, not only the fact that Loki is just very popular, it's just you've already kind of said the fact that things may happen that may not happen. And then sure enough, we find out that he's not dead and he goes back to the king and now he is the king. I feel like there's some way that this could have happened without all the I gotcha, sleight of hand, now you see me on DVD and Blu-ray. Okay, let's talk about the after credit scenes. The first one was they went to see the Collector and they were like, look, you gotta take this ether. We already got the Tesseract. We can't have the ether and the Tesseract on Asgard because that's two of something. The word infinity was dropped, and then when the Collector got the ether, he was like 1 down, 5 to go, meaning equals 6, as in the number of infinity gems, the infinity gauntlet. Methinks we're setting stuff up for future movies. By the way, I did not read that or know that off the top of my head. That was some Wikipedia knowledge right there, so thank you, Google. Research. By the way, don't Google Thor and Loki without any context on Google because you'll see a lot of images of them in healthy embrace. Or you can just go to see Thor the Dark World in China and you can see them embracing right there in the middle of the theater lobby on a poster. Good job, China. You guys get so much right, and then you do stuff like this and make me go, okay, maybe we are smarter than you at something. Might be the one thing, but it's something. We'll take it. America, we'll take whatever we can get right now to make ourselves feel better than you. When are you going to buy us? Then there was a second scene where Thor returned to Jane Foster and the beast that came from a different world into Earth is still running around grabbing at birds and stuff. That was cute. I feel like the part of Thor coming back to Jane could have actually been in the movie. I don't know why they made that an after credit scene. The part of the monster running around, I thought, okay, that's a cute little funny gag to put at the very end of the credits. But Thor returning to Jane seems like a big part of why he even said he didn't want to take the throne. So I feel like that should have just been in the movie itself. And then I think that would have been an awesome reveal of Thor telling the king, hey, I don't want to be king, I'm gonna go back down to Earth and get me my lady time. And then he goes down to Earth and, oh, let me kiss face with Natalie Portman, and they're all like, oh, everything is a-okay. Then you return to Asgard and you see that the king is actually Loki in disguise, and you're like, oh shit. And then boom. Now that's how you end a movie. Don't just put after credit scenes of parts that should actually be in the movie just for the sake of saying, we got an after credit scene. If you don't need it, just don't put it. We can still read those names of all those people that work so hard. So that's my thoughts about the spoilers. If you want to know how I feel about the movie in general, check out my non-spoiler review where I talk about the good, bad, and the nerdy of Thor the Dark World, not Thor the Lost World, or Thor the Spice World. And I'd love to know what you think about all these spoilers. What do you think about the Captain America cameo? Was it cool or was it gratuitous? What are your thoughts about those after credit scenes? Did you enjoy it? What information can you share about it that maybe I don't even know, because I don't know everything. I don't even know half these things. I just know that I still have this weird sexual attraction to Chris Hemsworth when I like women. Very hard for me to sleep at night. Well, that's probably not the choice of words I should use in talking about this. I need to get out of here. I love you like a play cousin. I'm out 5,000. Chain chomp. Yelp. Thor! Huh! Yeah! What is he good for? Hitting things with hammer. Say it again. Ah, Thor! Good God. Oh!